a bigger population bloom, we need more women to have kids in this nation to produce, which means that people are going to be lacking sleep in the other interim at the end of this.
Everybody turns their screens off at this time. We have a wind down routine before bed where we maybe read a book, maybe we do a breathing exercise, what we call
breathing exercise. Gay. Hey kids, let's do a breathing exercise. What the fuck?
All right, so let me go ahead and start it for you.
How's it going, Brian?
How you doing? Good to see you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Martae. I'm an IFBB professional bodybuilder. I'm a pro in 2 world-class sports. Pleased to meet you.
That's a nice custom jacket you got, Martae.
Question about the sleep conundrum that we have here today is we have a biological imperative, do we not, right? We have mothers and fathers, and right now we have a population decline that's happening. Pretty sure you already know this, which this offsets that. If you want people to last longer and live longer, we want people to actually proliferate and have more progeny, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this presents another example because of time. We're limited on time, and we would say that time is money. Well, during the formative years, when kids are being raised, guess what's happening? The mother's not getting sleep. She's waking up. The father actually has to go outside to work. She has paternity leave. Yeah. All this stuff happens. So that's the problem now. You're stuck at a crux to where we have to figure out how to reconcile this time issue. That can never be reconciled if we want more kids and we want.
And this is part of the reason why I used his stream, because they remind me to remind you to like the stream. Send me out there, share me out. I know I'm just getting started and I'm probably pretty rough, but I would like to get going and I would like more people to give me feedback so that I can be better in what I'm doing. But Martae here on the right is debating this gentleman on how we should parent our children. It hasn't really come into what we're dealing with here, so I'll kind of explain it. But this gentleman here thinks that they should be given pretty much whatever they want. So we'll go ahead and get back into it.
On a bigger population bloom, we need more women to have kids in this nation to produce, which means that people are going to be lacking sleep in the other interim at the end of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think we should have more babies. I think it's a good idea. And, I have 3 babies. And so what I'd argue is that you can have babies, you can have a family life, and you can also prioritize sleep. So for example, if I did this again, I would sit my kids down, even at the earliest ages, and say, we are a family that prioritizes sleep. So that means every day we have our final meal at this time.
And I won't disagree with that. That's good. We need to get back to a solid schedule for sleep, for work, for food, for whatever the case is. But we need to get back to having a good, solid base, and sleep is one of the biggest ones.
Everybody turns their screens off at this time. We have a wind down routine before bed where we maybe read a book, maybe we do a breathing exercise, what we call
breathing exercise. Gay. Hey kids, let's do a breathing exercise. What the fuck?
Calm ourselves down. We go to bed.
I mean, I don't disagree with Vic here. We need to have a solid, whatever that kid does, whatever that kid is able to do to get to sleep. Personally, I learned how to meditate. I learned how to shut my brain off because for me, I don't know, maybe I'm OCD, ADD. There we go. Too many letters. I know I'm OCD, but ADHD or ADD, where my mind just won't stop, right? So when I was younger, I used to have like the radio playing and sometimes even a TV on so that I could focus on one thing, or my brain would be trying to grab at other things to focus on, right? So you have to laser focus into that one thing. So maybe a breathing exercise might work for some, where I worked on meditation. I worked to understand how the brain works. And meditation is that, what do you want to call it? Astronomical, foofy stuff. I don't know. Most people don't believe in it, but it does have a place to understand who you are, whether you call it spiritual or call it not. It is understanding who you are so that you can be better to shut your brain off, to relax, to be able to go through life how you need to go through life. And again, I'm definitely not here telling you that I'm the perfect person to be saying this. I'm just person that has lived my life, seen the degradation that happens, the degeneracy that happens without sleep. Degeneracy doesn't have to be a sexual thing. Degenerate. In other words, going back from something that's ideal. So ideal sleep, ideal food, ideal lifestyle. We need to get back to the ideal or as close as we can. It's probably never going to get back to there because we've gone so far to one side. We can only get back to halfway back to that other side, but we need to try to get back to at least that halfway point if we can.
Nobody gets out of their bed unless it's an absolute emergency. And then, because you can't wake somebody up. In the morning, everybody gives everybody either a 1 to 5 star review on the star chart.
What the dude, what the hell? 1 to 5 review star chart?
Yeah, he beat me to that one. Oh my goodness. No. The kids don't get to review the parents. You can give them stars. You can give them the carrot or the stick, right? The carrot being the star, the stick being some kind of repercussions. But to give them the allowance to rate you and how well you're doing as a parent.
Dude, does this guy really have kids? Is he involved in his kid's life? How?
Includes if you walk out and you find your parent watching TV and they're breaking the rules, they get a 1 star review.
What the hell? Told you this guy's a fucking weirdo.
I mean, look at him. And I'm pretty sure Martae mentions in the chat that like in person, his skin looked, well, I mean, you can see the dude looks like an animatronic robot or AI or something like that here. And like I said, Martae was talking about how he looked like he was not human in person. And I don't know if it covers it in this clip, so I'm trying to milk it as much as possible. But in this clip, he talks about how he exchanges his blood with his kid. Like, why are we allowing this kind of stuff to happen?
From what I know about this guy, he's like, he does like plasma transfers and shit like that. He's like, his goal is he's trying to like live. I don't know if he's trying to live forever, but he's trying to live like a super long, extend his life. So he does all this weird shit to him. That's why he looks so weird and creepy. Dude, but like 5-star reviews. What the hell is this? Amazon?
But again, like he says, he does plasma, and that's from his kid. That's from his own kid. Now, where else are you going to get it? Where else is going to be as efficient if you're using it to make yourself young? Then you need something that's going to be young to be able to get. It's like, yeah, we won't go into that.
And why is he letting the kids review him? That's not how that works. If anything, you should review the kids. You shouldn't have a review system at all.
You shouldn't have a review system at all. Exactly. There shouldn't be a review. It shouldn't be 1 through 10. It should be you did right or you did wrong. Because this idea that there can be gray area, again, like I talked about in my previous videos, this idea that we can agree to disagree, we're going away from each other, we're not finding that middle ground somewhere. We can agree in some things. We can disagree in some things, and we can stay in the center at that point. But to agree to disagree, you're literally pulling apart. And the more we do that, the further away we get. Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Okay, we'll get and it keeps going and it keeps going. It doesn't ever stop.
It's a family culture of sleep where it says we're not going to be on screens all night long. When you wake up, you're not going to be on the screen. You're not going to have a pint of ice cream right before bed. Like these really basic things. So I'm just arguing that there is a family culture and there is a society culture.
Real quick, that was, let's see, that Dave Alyssa, he's one of the guys in the chat. He says, this guy has victims, not kids. And I have to agree with him. Wikimoto in our chat, the dude eats puppies. I don't know. I'm not gonna, disavow whatever. I don't agree. I'm not saying that he does, but dude looks weird. Like, regardless of what you're doing, if you're willing to go out on a limb and inject yourself with plasma from someone else, I understand that our medical history has given us that allowance, but also the medical history gives us all of the pharmaceuticals that then give us a pamphlet of side effects as well. So,
that says sleep is a good idea. We feel good when we sleep. Now, yes, like when you have babies and they're waking up all night, you're not going to go to sleep. I had that for years. I woke up every night, all night with kids who were crying. My first 2 kids were colicky. I couldn't get.
There it is. So Miss D at least says it. So like I said, I don't know if he mentions it in this clip or if Mrs. D gives us the ability to know it, because she watched the whole thing like I did, and it says it. He took his 18-year-old son. That was the age. At least he was 18, and he had the ability to say no, right, if he wanted to. But he took his 18-year-old son's plasma and injected it into himself. Now, is that by a medical professional? Was that by himself? I'm not going to say that it wasn't by a medical professional, but that's pretty weird for sure.
Sleep for 6 months. I hear you. I've been through the pain. I know it. I still love my children. I'm glad I had my children. But there are things we can do to prioritize sleep. And that's what I'm arguing, is if within our power to do those things.
So I think what you're doing is you're mitigating a process that's going to be inevitable right now. That's not really providing a solution. All you're doing is staving off things. Now we're talking about quality of life, right? So when we have a biological imperative, right now we also have, insert the chat, the high inclining divorce rate that we have right now. Women are initiating at a 79% rate. So that means that women are.
Well, let's see Martae's fact check right here. Multiple studies show that women initiate most heterosexual divorces about 69 dudes. 69% according to 2018 American Sociological Review study, 66 to 70% in an AARP report, and nearly 70% according to the Institute. Holy shit, that's high. That's high.
I love how they give these fact checks during Jubilee. Jubilee is really good. Like they have a lot of really good debates. If you haven't checked Jubilee out, definitely check them out. The Surrounded is amazing to watch. The different points of view being tackled by one person. I want to say Andrew has been on it one point in time. Charlie was on it when he was around. I can miss that guy. Sorry for the language. I try not to go that route myself, but I miss him. But it's a good place to go to see different worldviews, right? Going back into the chat, Wickmoto, yeah, I know that you're saying it, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm not getting him coming and beating me up. You're safe. You're behind a screen. I'm playing in a day out here, and I don't want to cause any problems per se yet. Let's see. Apparently give him time to turn his juicing and maybe. So Apprentice, apparently give him time to tune his juicing and maybe he'll last forever. His words of love. There's a ton of interview of that guy, but yeah, that's exactly what he doesn't. So there's more interviews with this guy, this crazy looking guy. Like, I might have to go find some of them.
Normally, when you see the number 69, you go nice.
Nice.
But not in this context.
Not in this context.
This is not nice.
That's high.
Martae made an excellent point.
I mean, like I mentioned in the upload that I uploaded earlier today, 70% are by women. So 69, 70%. I understand that they're going to vary depending upon which study you go to and things like that. But when you look into the divorce rates of heterosexual, homosexual, and vice versa with those, it's amazing to see. We'll just leave it at that for now.
Just delaying the inevitable process here.
Raising kids by themselves, whether or not we could say they're running men off or doing anything else, or the men are leaving, abandoning their kids. They're doing this by themselves, thus decreasing the chances for sleep even more, eroding this process of having nuclear families to even have more time to sleep. And also men are being subjected to child support, having to work more hours. There's almost no way that we can get around this conundrum of the time things.
And again, it goes back to, so I come from a history of my father was extremely diligent in making sure that we were taken care of on his allowance, his ability to provide. Now I understand I'm an old spud. I'm to the point where I'm like leather, right? But my father worked 2 and 3 jobs back in the day where money went further. He worked 2 to 3 jobs to put the food on the table for all of us children. My mom, they did the crunch the numbers, and they found out what it would take for her to go to work and for her to then pay daycare, and it would literally not give us any more income. All the money that she would make would then be put back out into childcare, right? So it doesn't do us any good. We need to get back. And I understand, again, we've gone so far away, we're not going to be able to find our way back to the original nuclear family home, but we need to get back to as close as that as we can. Hey, Rubber Ducky, good to have you. Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate the engagement. All fun and games until the missus gives you 3 stars for your performance last. Oh, his words of love. Yeah, I didn't even think about that one. If we're giving a rating score, could you imagine? Could you imagine the man doing that in turn? Like, oh my goodness. Divorce should have substantial reasoning. Substantial reasoning because not just that you fell out of love and want to go out each night. My father also worked 2 to 3 jobs, so grateful to him and prioritizing my mom for the stay-at-home mom she was. Foofy, that's good to see others sticking to that, right? I know in this day and age, it's going to be very hard for us to continue with that, but we need to get back to as close to that as we can. And the way we're going to do that is by reducing the women in the work field, reducing the allowance of that 2-income home. I don't know how that's going to go yet. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to sit down with Andrew and see what he has in store for all of us, and maybe get behind him on that. I have my own views. We'll talk about that as we go.
What's going to happen, there's no way we can obliterate the sleep problem happening with America unless we change our culture.
Yeah, I agree with you. And like, I think one of the bigger problems is, I think one of the reasons why relationships decay is poor health hygiene. If neither person's sleeping well, you're much more
Dude, what's with this guy and sleep? Listen, sleep is important. I'm not going to deny that. But dude, sleep.
It's not the end all be all. I will agree with Vic on that. It's not the end all be all. We definitely need sleep, but it also comes into morals, ethics. The idea that we can go out and flit around is ruining our pair bonding, our hormones, all of those things are in effect when we go out and we just flit. Robert Ducky, I don't believe in no fault divorce, nor do I believe in divorce. It says, till death do us part. And if I have to send you there, something. Oh, that went dark. That's just it, is till death do us part. And if you're religious, if you're Christian, you believe that there's further. And so by not doing your due diligence in this life to give that loyalty, what's going to happen later on after life, right? Till death do us part. Divorce is not an option in my book. It should be less of an option in the book, because you should have to have, like Foofy says, substantial reasoning. If it really needs to happen, you will find the substantial reasoning. I know you will. I've met many females, I've dated many females that have gotten through a relationship, and half of those should not have gotten out of that relationship. Half of them, yes, absolutely should have. And they're better off and they're safer because of it. I will never be one to say that you have to stay in an abusive relationship because divorce is not an option. But if you're getting into a marriage, you should have vetted them properly before you get there. And I will be driving that point home, mashing that into it as much as I can.
Sleep will make you healthier, but it's not the be all end all.
To be angry and to fight. Like your reaction time to be triggered and to have an emotional response that's very strong is very high.
Oh, no wonder he's talking about it, because that's the prompt. Sleep.
So that's why poor
Sleep should be everyone's top priority in life. I don't know about top priority, but it should be up there. As someone that has sleep apnea or whatever, and I finally have my CPAP machine, yeah, I can attest that sleep is important.
Oh, Vic, man, I didn't know you had sleep. I guess I missed that when I was watching this before. Sorry to hear that, buddy. My parents have sleep apnea, and so I probably do too. So I probably should be looking into it. But that's rough. I hope it works out for you. I don't know much about it.
I don't know about top priority.
It contributes to bad behavior, which erodes relationships. So this is kind of like the foundation of how.
When it comes to priorities, as far as I'm concerned, it's the trifecta. It's your mind, your body, and your soul. All have to be in one. That is the priority. So that includes sleep. That includes eating right. That includes thinking right. That includes reading your Bible. I'm going a little bit spiritual there, I understand. But it's keeping your whole self in sync. Balance in all things is required at all times.
How do you keep a relationship together? How do you keep a family together? How do you keep people in a good state of mind? It all begins with sleep.
Well, that puts you stuck in a rock.
Yeah, Rubber Ducky, working out does help out a lot. I work a physical job, so by the time I get done, when I have full-time work, I'm not saying I do right now, but when I do, I sleep pretty solid when I can sleep. But when you have sleep apnea, I know that it does cause issues for sure. Wickmoto. Yeah, I think I'm kind of right there. So Wickmoto says, my dad had that. I'll die in my sleep before I wear a CPAP. That's a hard pass for me. So where I do agree with sleep, and I have talked to my parents and how and my siblings that have had it and things like that. So I kind of understand where you're coming from. I understand where they're coming from. They say, and this is just speculation, whatever, they say that you can sleep better with the sleep apnea mask on than you can without the oxygen forcing its way into it. But like, I don't know if I can be Darth Vader at night. I don't know if I can do it. So anyway, here it says the prompt was sleep is above all else in society. So that was the prompt in the debate. So that's why he keeps going back to sleep as the ultimate priority. And so that makes sense now. But yeah, I was wondering why he kept going back to sleep as well.
Be in a hard place, because until we reconcile this traditional family being eroded, we will always have to reconcile how to get sleep. So they'll always be at odds with each other unless we change society first. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Right now we have family.
And this Mrs. D, she mentions, I run off 1 to 3 hours of sleep a day for the last year. It's not even close to a priority when you have a new baby. And that's the thing. Mrs. D is young. She has a kid. I don't know exactly what all she's married. Awesome. Like, we need more of it. We need more people willing to have the kids, but we need them young. We need them in our prime. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the video I uploaded earlier today. We need to get back to being in our prime so that when you get to that age that child is leaving your home, you're not dead tired. Your ability to rule them, your ability to give them regulations has not degraded. again, watching, because I'm a single guy, so I've been trying to find someone that I relate with, and watching single moms and how they leave their kids with their parents because they have to go out and work, and then their parents have to essentially raise the kids, right? When they start to raise the kids, their ability to discipline, the ability to run the kids down when they've got all this energy and the grandparents don't, that has to fall on the parent. And if that parent is not young enough to be able to run them down themselves, that becomes an issue. So we need to get back to having the children young enough that we can have the full sleep, we can have the full ability to do it, because when you're young, you can run off less sleep easier than you can when you're older. And as I understand it, this could be me being a potato and being speculative, but as I understand it, and I've seen this firsthand, women need more sleep than men do. That's because of your emotions. That's because of your hormones. That's because you are built to have the children. So we are built to go out and struggle and strive and build the world around us. So we have to be able to wake up. We have to be able to sleep quickly. We have to be able to do these things where women need to be able to give that time when they're younger to their children. So when they're older, they can feed into their kids what knowledge they've learned. Foofy, agreed. New babies require attention every 2 to 3 hours. My babies were fed every 1.45 hours. That's specific. Sleep, please. I was a lot younger when this was demanded of me from my babies. So again, able to feed every 2 hours. That is specific. 1.45 hours. That is not even an hour and a half in. Every hour and a half you're feeding your baby again. That's a lot of time. How can you possibly be working and doing this? So we need to be back to focusing on the next generation. Rubber ducky, men get fatter as a response to the upcoming long nights when your wife is pregnant. So that's a fair point. That's biological. Our bodies understand things that we don't. Our bodies realize that we're going into something that needs to be prepared for. It's like a bear hibernating over winter. If we stop eating, our body goes into starvation mode and we start to pack on the calories. With that being said, the same thing happens when you get having a kid, because you know that you're going to be struggling to make ends meet, essentially, and the body, everything happens for a reason. We are built the way we were built for a reason.
Culture that needs to change before we dig into people's pocketbooks and subscribe to your $2 million a year budget to have this happen, which is, I mean, unrealistic and unsustainable for the majority of Americans that we see.
Yes, I'm with you. And that's why the things I share with people are free. So I tell people I learn what I can from the scientific evidence of population level data, share those experiences with people that are free, and try to say, hey, look, we are a society that doesn't have its priorities straight. We can correct these really small things and all feel much better, repair our relationships.
Unfortunately, time isn't free. Go ahead. Yep.
Hey, Martae, is back here. Is this that lady that was punched in the face by that lady? The one that triggered that lady for talking about abortions? The one that the lady was like, yeah.
That lady that got punched in the face by that lady? All right. That's pretty much about all I've got. That was just kind of giving Martae a little bit of good press. Guy has a good head on his shoulders. I believe it's OTE with Martae Ruelas is his channel. I'll probably put that in the description at some point in time so you can find him. Good guy. Has some base takes, is trying to get out there like I am. has some history in sports and things like that. So he has some more understanding of the physical body, essentially. So, yeah, again, Kewl Vic, definitely go check him out. Martae is a good dude, like Wikimoto's saying. Go check him out. Please, you know, give them some love. We need to definitely hold together and stand together. Another creator that, just because I'm popping up off the top of my head, Tyler TV. He's a good dude. He also does really good takes and things like that. And again, I'm trying to get people involved. I want to be the face. I want to be the voice for you. If you don't want to be your own voice, your own face, I know the risks. I'm willing to take them on. I want to be there for people who need it. Yeah, Rubber Ducky, that's just it. I keep getting, I'm not getting trolled per se, but I got, you know, you got trolled by some dude in Discord about Martae. Martae's a good dude, and for some reason he's getting a lot of crap right now about being gay. I don't know why that's come up. I've seen his live stream where he talks about that. Some guy comes on and starts to accuse him of it, and he's like, I'll give you $1,000 to prove it. And they can't. So it's obviously a fake, and they keep saying that they're going to, but if you can't do it at the time, it with AI, deep fakes and things like that, who knows? So I'm behind Martae in this. I've seen his streams. He seems like a really legitimate guy. He's learned, he's grown, he's repented. I don't know his morals, his values, but he doesn't do that anymore, and now he's speaking out against it. It's like myself. I have a history in things that I'm not proud of. I don't like what I've done in the past. And that's why I'm out here speaking out against the promiscuity, the theft, all of these things I have a history in. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to deny it. I don't have anything to really hide from the public. I want to be someone who is looked at as someone that can be depended upon. Okay. I want to give Vic some love. I want to get him out there. He's growing pretty good. And Martae, again, Martae is getting some crap. Oh, Wikimoto, thank you very much. Martae is former law enforcement too. Yes. I remember him saying that. Good dude, has a good head on his shoulders. History in sports, actual physical sports like MMA or something like that. I'm not completely sure what that is. And then he's a former law enforcement turned into speaking out. So we need that. We need more of that. And if you're like that and you don't want to show your face, you don't want to be the voice, I'll say what you want to say. Okay. Maybe not if I disagree with it. We can maybe get you on as your own entity of some sort, right? But I am all for logical, reasonable voices, both left and right. We need both. We need to get to that understanding, that middle ground. And in order to do that, we have to have both sides. Okay. But that's all I have for today. I'll go ahead and leave you at that. I'll stop my rambling. But as always, please look out for your neighbors. Inside of the United States, keep your Second Amendment. More now than ever. Be kind to everyone around you. You never know what they're going through. And outside of that, the United States, stop giving up your rights, please. You're important just like the rest of us. As for now, I'll go ahead and sign off. Christ is God. Please take care of yourselves out there. You're all very important. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Did you like that clip? I sure hope you did. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share me out to all of your friends in the human world so that they can enjoy the potato starch as well. And try to catch my live streams on Sunday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, where we go over the current events and general degeneracy. Sure hope to see you there, and there should be some links somewhere on the screen for you to enjoy more of my content. For now, please take care of yourselves out there, and the potato signing off.